Welcome to the webAI summer release. The team has been working hard on some incredible new updates, and we can't wait to show you what we've been working on. Today, we're going to unveil powerful new advancements that change the way you approach AI. You'll likely have questions along the way. Scan this QR code to submit a question or simply ask us on X. As we head into the second half of the year, 2024 is proving to be the year every business is looking to implement AI and drive better productivity and profitability for their business. But this is uncovering a whole new set of challenges and threats to your business. We've all seen the news about privacy issues and AI. Business leaders are torn between trying to adopt AI, but also protect IP that they have spent years developing. Nobody wants their data to be used for training, or worse, sold to the competition. And new questions are rising up around who actually owns the models trained on your data. Is that you? Is that your provider? What if you leave a vendor? Can you take that model with you? This is not just about data privacy. Cost is a growing concern. Emerging AI models require a tremendous amount of compute, and AI vendors are pouring billions into development and maintenance of these AI solutions. Today, these inefficient models are subsidized by vendors, but over time, these compute costs will be passed along to customers. Most critical of all, out-of-the-box AI isn't able to address core business needs. For example, prompt engineering does not solve real business problems. It's not delivering on the promise of AI. At webAI, we believe in order to solve business problems with AI, we must first solve the problems of AI. It starts with privacy. Rather than bringing your data to the cloud for AI processing, we bring the AI to your local device, where the data is being generated. This can be from an existing camera or a simple chat on your laptop. The benefit of this is your data never leaves your systems. You stay in control of your data and the models you train with it. webAI runs on your existing hardware and network. Likely the device you're watching this on is powerful enough to run an AI system with webAI. Our technology allows you to power some of the world's largest models on consumer-grade hardware. And when one device isn't enough, we can link devices together to create powerful clusters that you control. Finally, webAI comes with everything you need to train and deploy models to meet your business requirements. We're still in the early days of AI, but we believe the future of AI is a future that's secure, energy efficient, and will take place directly on your device. To show you how it's done, please welcome Tyler Maurer.
Thanks, David. We've taken an innovative approach to solving the challenges of AI, and they all come together in Navigator. Navigator is an enterprise AI platform that allows you to run artificial intelligence models on your existing hardware. If you need to train new models for specialized solutions, our training pipelines allow you to quickly move solutions from prototyping to production within the same environment. Moving solutions from experimentation to production has never been easier. Our powerful backend combines state-of-the-art networking with a powerful runtime agent. Let's take a look at how it's done. The first thing you'll notice is that this isn't your typical training and prototyping tool. It's so much more. In the bottom left, I have my elements. They're grouped into different categories. I have my inputs, my outputs, inference elements, and my training elements. My inputs, I'm able to keep track of my resources like my cameras, my prompt API, or my media loader. For outputs, I'm able to upload output previews, APIs, or zone counters. And for inference elements, I'm able to do large language models, object detection models, classifiers, and so much more. And one of my favorites is training, where I'm actually able to train custom models. That goes from everything from a large language model to vision models as well. So let's go ahead and train one. I'm going to drag in a LLM trainer and go to the settings. I'm going to take a data set I had from earlier based on automobiles. And then all I'm going to have to do is hit run, and it's going to start training directly on my device. And you can see here that we're actually installing the dependencies required and setting it up directly in your environment so you don't have to code at all. And this is going to run in the background. And while that's running, I trained one earlier today, so I'd like to go talk to it and see how it's performing. I'm going to load a custom LLM chatbot. And then I'm going to go into the settings and click on the model that we trained earlier. We're going to hit run, see how it performs, and if it does great, we'll push it into production. The cool thing about this is that all of these flows are created based on modularized pieces of code and they're orchestrated perfectly to work in the background. And when I want them running, all I have to do is click drag and drop to get them connected. Let's go ahead and test this model out. Give me a brief history on Ferrari. And you can see that this runs directly on my device. And as some great information on Ferrari, I think that my friends are actually really going to like this model. So I'm going to go ahead and push it to production. So let's save a version for deployment. Call it at Cars 1. I'm going to switch to the deployment view. We're going to name it. Keep our naming thing consistent, Cars 1. Select the version. Assign my hardware. And in this case, they're all going to run on this computer. If I had other devices connected, I'd actually be able to run them on a cluster. But for now, we'll just keep it on all laptop. We're going to hit next and push it to deployment. And speaking about deployment, we have something fun to show you. Let's go take a look.
Navigator brings accessibility to AI, allowing anyone to solve robust and difficult problems. Our team has continued to innovate on the platform's foundation and have created a solution that allows you to run extremely large models in hardware-constrained environments, and we call it WebFrame. WebFrame allows you to deploy large and complex language models and host it across multiple devices in your network. It breaks down the models into small components that get distributed across separate machines. These machines work together to run state-of-the-art models directly in your environment. Here we have a cluster of 4 Mac studios working together to power Mixtral. 3 of these machines are running Navigator's worker mode, which allows the resources to be pooled and made available to the main device here. Similar to when you run it on a single device, I can create an API endpoint for integrating external applications. Let's talk with it. What are the 3 benefits of running distributed compute? You can see here that we have the model running on 4 different computers that we have clustered together. And it's going to perform exactly how I'd like it to. It's going to populate the results in my chat. Mixtral is an incredible model, and unfortunately I've never been able to use it offline because it is so large. WebFrame breaks this pattern and allows me to access large models without going to the cloud. The best part is Mixtral performs extremely well, and it competes with popular providers like ChatGPT or Claude. And now I can get the results I've come to expect from cloud solutions without the risk of leaking personal or professional information. I'm going to leave this model running so my coworkers can chat with it from their laptops and mobile devices. There's one more example I'd love to show you. My laptop doesn't have enough compute to run a model like Llama 70B by itself. But with WebFrame, I'm actually able to contribute my laptop's compute to the cluster. Navigator is currently running half of the model on my laptop while the other half is running on the ML cluster. This allows us to minimize the dedicated compute requirements for the Mac cluster while maximizing its ability to serve more users. WebFrame works with the largest models available in the open source community, and we think you guys will enjoy using them.
By bringing the power of large models directly to your device with Navigator and WebFrame, you'll be able to unlock a whole new layer of intelligence. To demonstrate the capability of local AI, we decided to build something really special. I'm excited to announce webAI Assistant. While Navigator is focused on solving enterprise problems, Assistant is built for everyone, and it lives natively on your device and allows you to tap into webAI models without any connection to the outside world. With the Assistant, your data remains on your devices. It can run on laptops, phones, and even virtual reality hardware registered to you and your webAI account. This enables incredibly dynamic AI experiences. And what this means is webAI can intelligently scale up and down compute based on the task-specific needs, offering the concierge model experience. Assistant lives in your toolbar and can be accessed at any time. Let's take a look at what this looks like. You'll see that I have 3 folders on my desktop, one named Decentralized AI. This folder could be full of images, graphs, and other content if you wanted to have a conversation with it in your operating system. But I'll go ahead and right-click this folder and click the webAI icon. It brings the folder directly into my chat window on my interface, and now I can ask a question about the folder. I'll start by asking the question, what is a control layer? And you'll see webAI is generating a response, and it will provide me detailed feedback of where it got the information from, providing citations at the bottom. enabling me to find more information on the initial question I asked. Assistant can interact with your screen, your folders, and apps, all completely local, enabling the privacy and power users desire with no compromises. Let's take a look at how today's announcements come to life with some real-world examples. We'll start with personal health data, something you'd rather not expose to the world. Local models can offer personalized analysis of health data without the data ever needing to leave the device. In this example, I'm going to ask a question around how many steps I took on July 3rd. You can see the model provides detail on steps and references the data points in my folder. I'm going to ask how many calories I burnt on the 15th. We notice here in the response, it provides me a calorie count, but it also understands that I was referencing the month of July, automatically in the system's chat. In the transportation world, trains are producing large data streams, from embedded sensors that measure temperature, system degradation, passenger counts, and much more. Analyzing this data on the fly is not feasible. Using webAI, I can connect to the data stream and ask questions in real time. I'm going to ask a question about a travel log from Seattle to Chicago. You can see here it provides tremendous information from the station it left and the time of day, all the way to temperature. Now I'm going to ask about a different trip, specifically New York to DC. You'll see the model adapts, references a new data point, and provides all the information required in my question.
We're still in the early days of AI, but we're making rapid progress towards building powerful AI applications that afford you the privacy and power you require. Today, we announced 3 critical components of the webAI platform. We started with Navigator, which allows you to easily fine-tune models and connect to local devices, bringing AI directly to where the data is being created. We announced WebFrame, our service which allows you to deploy a large model and host it across multiple devices in your network. And finally, the webAI assistant, your personal context-aware assistant who lives on your device and keeps all your interactions private. We're opening up access today, so head over to webai.com to get started now. I'm here with Tyler live, and we're here to answer a few questions. If you haven't already submitted your questions, drop them in the chat now. We'll go ahead and get started. Dave asks, are early access requests being processed, or is that on hold for a future date? What are the requirements to get access?
It's actually really straightforward. We have an email sign up on our website where you're able to submit your name, your email address, and we'll get you access. We're doing batch access, so we're releasing progressive user signups this month, and I think you'll be excited with how fast you can get access to the platform.
We understand there's a lot of demand, and we're trying to meet that demand by doing batch rollouts. We want to take time to make sure our users are integrated and understand how to use the tool. So that's our strategy as of today.
Alex had a question on developing private AI and asked when it would be useful to fine-tune a model versus use RAG.
It's a great question. So Navigator is a developer tool, so we want to enable you to work through fine-tuning and RAG all in one place. I think the way to look at it is if you're an organization that has a tremendous amount of data, training can be a realistic option. If you have a few folders or files that you think are referenceable for quick tasks with the LLM, I think RAG is the best choice. So RAG is great if you want to Q&A a data set or have hard grounding on truth factors. For example, today we demonstrated a health application. We used a mixture of fine-tuning and RAG for that. Really, if you want a generalized model, fine-tuning will be the best solution.
I've even found that just pointing my folder at RAG is fun to be able to talk to it,
Right.
being able to get access to what I have stored on my device.
For example, with Companion, when we've been testing, having Companion sync directly with your downloads folder is really useful. You can, ask questions about your downloads, have interactions, and better understand the information that's coming into your machine. Jen wants to know, all the devices you were using are Macs. Does webAI work on Windows or Linux?
So right now, the platform is built and optimized for macOS. We actually support Linux deployments as well, and we have Windows in our roadmap. So They're all planned, but we're currently on Mac OS. We're definitely big believers in the Mac OS platform, and as far as energy consumption goes, you're able to get a lot of power without taking a lot of your energy. So we're open to more conversations, but we're currently supporting Mac OS.
Yeah, a few more questions from the live chat. How do you make money? What lock-in is there in your service if I decide I don't like it? So we're rolling out with this summer update a trial period. So we're going to enable our users to test Navigator in the webAI suite without being locked in. To date with enterprises, we've followed this cadence. So some of our great customers have gone through trial periods, which then goes into a commercial rollout. So we're happy to offer early access in a trial period, which will then lock out when the trial is over. As far as a lock-in on service, you own your models and the data. There is no lock-in.
How can I add AI assistance to my existing app or to help employees with company-specific data? I think this one's actually really straightforward, and this is one that we use internally. I know I personally use it a lot. The application allows you to just host an API endpoint, and then you can integrate on top of external applications. So whether that's a mobile application or another computer desktop application, you can ping in directly into your local environment. All you have to do is point it at a folder path, and you can continually update it, and that updates for your employees. So it's really straightforward. I actually use Navigator most of the time for doing it, so I don't go outside the application.
Right. And Companion is also a great pathway to leverage this. We have Companion support for both mobile and Vision Pro, which are great tools to interact with webAI models.
Yeah. Got a good question here. Can you contribute compute to a broader network for general use?
Absolutely. I love that question. We built this company for that, right? So we believe that compute is one of the most valuable resources in the age of AI, and we want to enable our customers and users to contribute. So WebFrame enables this for large models, but outside of just WebFrame, we already have a sensor and compute intelligence system in our network. So what that means is you can assign mobile devices, existing hardware in your space, to handle discrete tasks. It doesn't have to be an AI task. So you could assign a camera to a specific machine, you could assign a software layer to a specific machine, even a UI to a specific machine. And we also enable our users to contribute. We're working towards a marketplace for this, but this is not out in Q3. It will be coming probably later next year.
Yep, it's something we're really excited for, so stay tuned for more on that one.
Yeah.
A follow-up question to that one is, what type of devices are required or needed to be able to run the consumer or enterprise products?
As Tyler said earlier, our application layer runs on Mac only today, Mac OS. As far as contributing, we enable Linux devices and Mac. It really comes down to the application you're trying to run. We don't have specific requirements, but your use case will.
Yep. So what we find is, depending on the model you want to run or the results you want to get, most of the time you can run something like a MacBook Air and get fantastic results.
Right.
And we've actually seen really promising results on mobile devices as well. So you'd be surprised how much utility you can get out of probably the device you're watching this on right now.
I think a simple example is we have customers come to us at times that say, can I run Llama 405 on my machine? Can you download that model? And if you can't download it, we would need to run WebFrame for that. If you can't even install segments of the model on the device, you are limited. So what we enable is scaling down. We support tremendous number of models, as well as IP models that we've developed. And there's a model for your hardware device. It's just going to tune up and down based on the requirements.
Will this tool require any local downloads, or is it all on web and cloud-based?
Yeah, this is a completely local tool. The DMG you download off our site, and when you pull elements, which are those containerized pieces of code that Tyler highlighted in the demo today, those often pull from our repo. So some bundles, we have elements pre-staged in the DMG, but when we launch updated elements or new features, you will download those elements from our repo. But at that point, once they're downloaded, everything is local, no internet required.
Yep. So we're a local first, and the API layer is built to be able to take applications onto cloud. So if you have a web interface and you want to be able to link your backend to it, it's very easy to start. But when you're not building off an API layer, it just runs off your computer.
Yeah.
Or computers. So another question is, how do we keep our model current? For example, if I were to train a private model today and in 3 months I wanted to upgrade the large language model on which it's based, is that easy to do?
It's very easy. Yeah. So training a model in our platform has never been easier. Tyler legitimately trained a model this morning. We've trained models on all sorts of different types of data sets. And in webAI today, we support auto annotation, which enables us to work with your folders and data just the way they are. So whether that's a CSV or a JSON file or PDFs, we can instantly leverage those to make great models.
I think what's really exciting too is behind the on the back end we have a team of ML engineers, and they're continually updating the models and optimizing them for deployment. And so the platform is always up to date with the newest models. And if you want to retrain on a new model, you can just redeploy your model in probably the same day or week that the model actually becomes available to the market.
I see a question on how is Assistant different than recently announced Apple Intelligence, with this feature being able to summarize documents. We're not just summarizing documents.
Yeah.
So one, webAI will be complementary towards Apple Intelligence, and I think that's important to highlight. Outside of that, summarizing documents is not essentially what Assistant does. Let's talk about what Assistant does. I know we only teased a little bit of it because we want to hold some things close here, but if we broke down companion type tasks with Assistant, it's more than summarizing.
Yeah, it's more than summarizing. I think a big area with Assistant that's really exciting is we're trying to optimize where the model is available to you. And so in the context where you want to make a model, you're able to interact with it. But the great thing about Assistant is that it's built on our backend. And so because it's able to utilize models like WebFrame, you're able to use much larger and much more complex models to be able to perform those same tasks on your desktop. And so Apple Intelligence is going to be amazing and is going to solve a lot of different use cases. What we're anticipating is that Companion is going to solve different use cases, and it's going to solve more complex and robust ones. So this is why we think enterprise is going to particularly enjoy Companion, where you're able to use a model like Llama 70B directly within Companion, as opposed to a smaller Llama like a 3 billion or an 8 billion model. We already do support the Gamma models from Google, to answer one of the questions.
Yeah, I saw that pop up. Some questions around cost involved training models. They're exorbitant. Yes, they're really expensive. This is something we're working on. It's our ability to distribute training and tasks across disparate hardware does drive massive energy efficiency and enables great opportunities for anyone to train models. I think just the other night we were working in the office and with the marketing team, and we found out we could spin up a model just in a few minutes. So we're not working on training flagship models. We don't see that in our future either, but we are working a lot on enabling the fine-tuning of models faster than ever with more energy efficiency.
Yep. What we found is that when it goes to fine-tuning a model, depending on the data set size you can bring, the energy efficiency of a MacBook is actually very, very good for being able to keep your costs low and allow you to experiment very quickly. And you don't always have to go to a cloud instance and spend up a training cost. But when you would like to, you're able to switch out your computers for more powerful ones, and you're able to let it run longer. But that is one area that Apple is definitely dominant in the market, is that their energy consumption is far lower than their competition.
Absolutely. We see more questions, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions this morning. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the webAI summer release. And a huge thank you to webAI team who worked hard on bringing you these updates. We can't wait to get this in your hands.
Thank you.